Hello, my name is Epic Bubble. I sometimes go by the name of Simon, and this is a thoughts video on Ganz schön clever. I think it's Are You Clever in English, and I hope I got the German pronunciation correctly. This is a dice drafting roll and write game that came out in 2018. It's in Germany or in Europe currently. It's not really made its way to the US, or at least I don't think so, but should be releasing worldwide shortly. It's pretty good. Let me explain a bit about it. So the first thing you probably should know is that this is a Kenner Spiel. So you normally have the Spiel des Jahres awards, which are kind of awards given out every year in Germany based on which game they think is the best. These are typically go to kind of like more family-oriented games with lightish rules. The Kenner Spiel is kind of the more upper grade or the more advanced version. So if you are a gamer, these are probably the more ones you want to look out for, but they still relatively are tame when it comes to them. You know, you're not going to get anything crazy. You're not going to get seriously heavy board games. These are all more just quite safe. They're quite simple to learn and can be picked up by almost anyone, regardless of age. So the reason why I got it, well, the reason why I managed to get a play of it was because my friend was in Germany at the time and he picked up a copy and bought it back, and now I got a chance to play it. I think the first thing I should probably say is I never have been a big fan of roll and write games. For those that don't know, roll and write simply means that you are rolling dice or rolling something or doing something like drawing a card, and then you're going to be drawing on a piece of paper, and then the piece of paper is going to be thrown away at the end of the game. The piece of paper is technically your board, but that's about it. I don't really like roll and write games simply for the feeling that they feel like bingo. It feels like you're not really doing anything and you're simply just waiting for something to come up which will be helpful to you. You simply are kind of bored and hoping to get that lucky bingo strike. And that's the reason why I haven't been particularly engaged by roll and write games. However, Ganz schön clever, very, very good game. The reason why is kinda, well, let me explain the rules. You essentially have four different grids, as you can see, or let's see, there's yellow, blue, green, orange, and purple. And each you're going to be trying to get, each refer to different dice, and you're going to be trying to fill out each of those rows depending on what it comes out. Each kind of color is different. So, for example, yellow wants to be scored in horizontal and vertical and diagonal lines. For blue, you want to do the same thing, though it's a bit more trickier because blue, you have to take the blue number and the white number on the dice together in order to mark off those numbers. You then have green. Green is just one of the things where you just have to make sure that whenever you take a green dice, you just have to get the number that's higher than what is being shown to you, and it resets over time. You also have orange. Orange is just very simple. Orange is just straight points. So you always want to be adding like the highest points you have there, like a 6, a 6, a 6. You want to make sure that you always get high orange dice to be placed in there. And then also the purple. The purple is the most trickiest. The purple will get you some good combos. But in order to do so, you always have to play low numbers going upwards because the number before the other number can't be more. So, for example, if I play a 1, my next number has to then be a 2. If I play a 2, my next number can't be a 1. It has to be greater, and it also can't be a 2. So it's a bit tricky. If I ever play a 6, a purple 6, then the row resets, and I can then start going back to 1, 2, or however I want to, or I can just put another 6 and another 6 and another 6 if I want to. On your turn, the game takes place over a series of four rounds, and on your turn, you're going to be basically rolling dice. You're going to choose a dice, and then any other dice that have a lower value get put into the silver platter for other people to then choose. And you'll keep doing that for 3 times. You'll basically try and get 3 dice. Those 3 dice you'll then mark off on your board. And then what's going to happen is each other person around the table, they'll be able to select one of the dice on the silver platter, or one of the dice that was set aside because you didn't choose it, and they'll then be able to fill it in. So pretty straightforward. You'll be doing that 4 times. So each person will get a chance to roll the dice and choose 3, and then also they'll be choosing dice during their opponent's turn. What makes the game really cool is 2 things. Firstly, there's the interaction. Again, like I said, bingo and roll and write games tend to be quite boring because you simply just don't care. You're waiting for something to come up and you're just focusing on your own individual piece of paper. What makes this game really good is you care about what other people are going for. You care about what other dice are coming up. You know, someone will roll dice for the first time and there'll be a number you desperately want. You'll desperately want a green 6, or you'll desperately want a yellow 5, and you'll get it, and then they just choose to re-roll. Because that's quite cool, because as you progress through the game, you'll be able to unlock special combos. We'll get to that in a bit. But that idea of just watching a person rolling dice and you're grasping at your teeth because you're really hoping a dice might come up, but you're also hoping that he doesn't choose the dice that you want, that's great. It just means you're constantly looking around the table, making sure that she's doing what she should be doing, or like you're like thinking, okay, well, if he's going for that, then maybe I shouldn't be going for this. For example, if my friend is focusing heavily on like purple, then maybe I shouldn't be focusing on purple as well, because maybe I won't get a purple dice from him, or maybe she's trying to get all her yellow colors blocked, so maybe I want to make sure that I take a yellow just to stop her from choosing the yellow. It's so intense, the interactions of this looking, and you're like, no, that's really good for you. That you should take that. No, that's great. You should really go for that. And of course, you're lying, because you want certain dice to come out for you, but of course you're trying to persuade them to take the dice. And then you have the second part which makes this game great, and that is the combos. You see, basically, when you complete stuff, so for example, if we take a look at the top of the yellow block, if I complete the horizontal top row, so if I get a 3 yellow, a 6 yellow, and a 5 yellow, I can then cross those all off, and I'll get a blue X. So that means I'll then be able to mark an X spot of my choice on the blue block. So what that means is, for example, I could do that, and then say perhaps I have the 2 blue and the 4 blue crossed off. Well, then that forms a line, and that gets me a 5. I can then write the 5 into my orange column, and then perhaps I will get another reroll, or perhaps that 5 actually fills in the block of where there is a yellow X, and then the yellow X then. You can see how this goes on, and you can see how immensely satisfying it is when this happens. There's a little strategy involved of like how you want to do this. You're carefully looking at the dice, making sure that you're maybe not copying what someone else is doing, because you don't really want to share dice. You have this wonderful thing, as you see, there are 2 different types of black blocks. One is rerolls, which will allow you to do rerolls, which are crucial at the end step, because you really want to make sure that you maximize your dice each time, because if you can't take a dice for whatever reason, for example, maybe I can't take yellow 3 because I don't have any yellow 3 spots, you just simply lose out on that dice. So those rerolls become more and more important as the game goes on, so which makes those 3rd and 4th rounds extremely tense when it comes to your own personal dice rolling, hoping to get what you want. And then you have the plus ones, and the plus ones are so powerful because the plus ones essentially allow you to choose another dice during your turn. And what this means is, again, more and more combos, and it's so satisfying. And the game doesn't take too long. This is a 30-minute game. The rules are so simple to understand. There's even a solo mode for some odd reason. And it's good. It's really good. I'm absolutely enthralled by that. There's also still a couple of other things. There's a white dice, and the white dice can basically be chosen as any other color. And then you also have these foxes. These foxes are so clever as well, because the foxes act as a multiplication. So if I get 1 fox, it times the thing by 1. If I get 2 foxes, it times it by 2. If I get 3 foxes, it times it by 3. And what do I mean by it times it by 3? Well, I mean it takes your lowest score. And so, for example, maybe I scored really low in orange. Maybe I only got 20 points in my orange track. But thankfully, I managed to cross off 3 foxes. That means I just got 60 points off of my foxes, simply because my lowest track was orange. But that also means that maybe you want to make sure that all your tracks are relatively in the same position. So maybe I don't want to focus on one thing. Maybe I want to give a nice mixture of everything. This game is good. I'm deeply enthralled by the choices you make, how fast it plays. This is a very, very neat package, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does actually get this Kenneth Spiele award for this year. I think if it comes out, if you manage to get a chance to ever pick it up, I think you should go for it. I think this is, again, like I said, this is a roll and write game that's good, that isn't boring, and that you want to pay attention to everything. This is also a fantastic filler. I think one of the downsides is probably that you could say that it only goes up to 4 players, and maybe if you're going for like having a party night, it's not really going to fill that itch. But I think if you want to have a nice break in between 2 games, this is fantastic. You have these two elements where you have the satisfaction of getting some really good dice and some really good dice picks, and you have the satisfaction of combos. But then there's also that underlying layer of strategic thinking and that reward you get for when you get those combos that just feels so satisfying. I think this might be one of the best games I've played all year. And that's saying something. I do want to play a couple more games of it, absolutely. But I will say now that it might be one of the best games of this year. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, remember to hit the like and subscribe button. They're obviously there for a reason. I always make sure to put out at least one video per week on either a game or on some thoughts. Please keep tuned for my Gen Con special, where I'll be looking at the top 10 games that are going to be coming up for Gen Con. I typically do it about a week before, so that's going to be coming up at the end of July. And hey, maybe you didn't like this video. Maybe you think roll and writes are boring like I do. Maybe you think they're incredible and that this is just one that's mediocre. But let me know in the comments section. I love to read your comments. I love to hear your feedback on how I can improve my videos. And of course, if you didn't like this video, then hit the dislike button. Again, it's there for a reason. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. I hope you have enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.